Alright, so, I kind of screwed up, and the recording for the start of the third world, the kind of golden hour one, the beginning footage of it was ended up like not recording properly. And by that point, I ended up solving many of the things there, so the episode ends up getting cut kind of short. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up everything in here and just get this progressing enough that we head back to that area, because it's obvious we're gonna go back there after everything here is said and done. And then I'll go through the fourth area again. I've made a note for myself. Between this statue and the spire, there's a switch you can flip here. That gets you the star for the Phoenix statue. You're just attached to everyone. Right. Then this can be connected to that. Oh, right. You're actually secretly a blue. And that opens this. This is the introduction to these puzzles. Basically, blue becomes red, and that opens that. And then you select this for blue, and that opens that. Or alternatively, I think you do red. Red goes to blue. You want to place it like here. That opens that. And then blue goes to red. And that opens that. Sure, might as well do one of these too. be something to do with that. Actually, if I just put that there... Alright, that works. had to be a reason for that little area there.
I sent the drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve fuel as much as we can. There's no point in going there if it's all dead.
No, but I wanted to go. Wait, is this thing still on?
That's deactivated. That makes me wonder. No, no line of sight. All right. You know what? I think it actually was me being stupid. I attached this to this. Well, I should have attached it to the source. That easy. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but oh my fucking god, like that was insanely stupid of me. Oh my fucking god, that was so fucking stupid. Because I was like messing around with the other stuff. I still have no idea what the hell that is. Actually, real quick, you know, we haven't tried green. You know, since I've gone this way all up and so on and so forth, why don't I at least see if green changes anything? I'm not happy about, like, you know, having to look it up. It feels kind of cheaty, but I would, you know, my own ineptitude was just keeping me down, I guess. Alright, so green also doesn't do anything. I mean, there has to be a reason for this crap here. Unless they introduce a whole new color. Have I done 7 yet? don't think so. Alright, so that just opens that. Backwards propagation. For any reason, there's this little cubby hole here. No, that's not gonna work. Alright, let's see if... Can't get that or that. Then that fires off red. Which, if I attach it... There we go.
I am so glad I'm not in charge of solving these.
If you don't do anything stupid, it's not too bad. Alright, last one is 6. Doing them out of order. Like, most of the... I don't know, it's very frustrating, because, like, it was due to a very silly mistake. Like, just a complete goof. most of these I can, you know, kind of figure out and understand and stuff. I'm gonna need to bring 2 things here. That's probably something I'll need to do later. Red shooting out red. That's stuck there. How can I grab you without any problems? So you can see, like, if I don't make a silly mistake, I'm able to get through these. It's just those terrible moments when, like, I wasted so much fucking time on that. Let's do some reading. Reading Rainbow, let's go. Oh, not even reading.
The rotting remains of the old world should fill me with melancholy. Even here on this remote island, our ancestors could not escape their fate. And yet, I find there is something pathetic about these ruins that evokes anger and even contempt. I feel it is a mistake to accept this catastrophe with equanimity. What we see here should offend us. When witnessing this triumph of entropy, we should aspire to a warrior spirit, even a kind of hate of the past and its failures that will never allow such a thing to happen again.
Sphinx riddle. X marks a spot between that and the big statue. I look like you. Just that statue. Maybe there's like some way, but alright, there's the big statue. And it's kind of in between it.
Just when I thought we'd found all the weird stuff.
So, see this. Success. It worked. I made a statue. Well, it half worked. The design wasn't balanced, so it fell over and broke. It was very dramatic, but the good news is that it all worked in principle. Miranda. There's Trevor again.
So, humanity is great. I really believe that, and that's why I'm here. But I have to be honest with you, individual people, not always my favorite. I'm not the smartest guy ever, and I know that. But there are some people, man, some people are just so dumb. I don't even know if they're actually conscious. Sometimes I think their whole lives might be like a dream. They're just stumbling around, no idea what's going on, mumbling some random nonsense. And the thing you have to understand about our time period is that a lot of these people wield enormous power. They run whole countries and corporations. Yeah, that's right. We've handed over our civilization to people I wouldn't trust to tie their own shoelaces. And if they're dumb, then what are we? I don't honestly have an answer to that, so just please try to do better.
Unfortunately, life isn't a meritocracy, and some people, there we go, are just Daddy's special little boy. And maybe Daddy was smart and cruel enough to put himself in a significant position of power where he rules over other people. But his special little boy, he'd rather do without. I mean, look at some of the choice billionaires out there. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Kanye West, Mark Zuckerberg. These fuckers have lost more money than most people could even
The wheel
conceive of.
turns, but without the road, it cannot move.
And yet, they will never be in a position where they're worrying about money. And they're also all grade A fucking morons. The notion of success or wealth directly correlating with your bank account is one of the gravest myths out there. Let's see. Some of these structures just don't seem to have a purpose, at least for the game. I'll just go to all the question marks and hope it leads to the last puzzle. I really, really don't fucking like you. There's that one that I'm yet to solve. Oh, here's the last one. Probably. Go. It's just so upsetting now, because, like, I solved this pretty darn easily. So I know that if I didn't make that one mistake, I would have solved that one easily too. Like, I clearly know how to do the logic. Oh, man. This might be the lab.
Every site we've investigated has had one of these labs, but they seem primitive compared to some of the technology we're seeing above ground.
Are we even sure that the labs and the puzzles belong to the same people?
There seems to be a connection between the experimental setups in the labs and some of the puzzle technology.
Correlation does not necessarily imply causation, though.
True. But just because we don't understand the connection, that doesn't mean it's not there. What we have here is two things that reflect each other. We just don't understand how that reflection works or what causes it.
Maybe Miranda can tell us.
I mean, maybe the labs were here first and they found them and incorporated the puzzle technology into this area. Alright, so what's gonna, like, just mentally kick my ass next? Magnetism? Yeah, looks like it. We can make it go up the walls. Make it go up in the ceiling. Those are always pointing opposite of the ground it's attracted to. Just want to make sure I don't miss anything like I did last time. The end draft. The end. After a lifetime dedicated to the written word, I'm faced with a task that I could never have expected, writing an epitaph not only for myself but for my species. In the unlikely event that Alexandra Drennan is successful, and one day someone reads this, what meaningful insights can I share into this strange phenomenon that is humanity? I've spent days thinking about it, but now I'm running out of time, so I'll set down one thought that I simply can't shake. It didn't have to be this way. With more time, we could have found a cure. With a few political victories, we could have been prepared. Change any factor, even by a little, and we would have made it. This isn't divine punishment, it's just dumb luck. I'm reaching for something here, but I don't know what it is. Forgiveness? Grace? Acceptance? No, I hate the idea of accepting this. Hope, maybe. I feel like this story is unfinished. Maybe it should be. No epitaph for humanity. I pray Drennan is right. It didn't have to be this way, yet it was. Failed to load comment. You know, that's, ain't that poignant for here and now. Like, the date is November 7th, and while I was outside in the afternoon today, it felt like, late spring, early summer weather in November. All because human beings, not even like all of us, just like a select few running large corporations, have put the long-term stability and well-being of the planet behind short-term profits. Hope there's nothing stuck in the Arctic permafrost that can affect us, cause I don't think we have an Alexandra Drennan who can weave through the political bullshit needed to make something out of humanity. Charon, from 51 Tales by Lord Dunsany. Charon leaned forward and rode. All things were one with his weariness. It was not with him a matter of years or of centuries, but of wide floods of time, and an old heaviness and pain in the arms that had become, for him, part of the scheme that the gods had made and was a piece with eternity. If the gods hadn't even sent him a contrary wind, it would have divided all time in his memory into two equal slabs. So gray were all the things always where he was that if any radiance lingered a moment among the dead, on the face of such a queen perhaps as Cleopatra, his eyes could not have perceived it. It was strange that the dead nowadays were coming in such numbers. They were coming in thousands where they used to come in 50s. It was neither Charon's duty nor his wont to ponder in his grey soul why these things might be. Charon leaned forward and rode. Then no one came for a while. It was not useful for the gods to send no one down from Earth for such a space, but the gods knew best. Then one man came along, and a little shade sat shivering on a lonely bench with the great boat pushed off. Only one passenger, the gods knew best, and great and weary Charon rode on and on beside the little, silent, shivering ghost. And the sound of the river was like a mighty sigh that grief in the beginning had sighed among her sisters, and that could not die like the echoes of human sorrow, failing on earthly hills, but was as old as time and pain and Charon, maybe it's Charon's, arms. Then the boat from the slowly gray river loomed up the coast of Dis, and the little silent shade, still shivering, stepped ashore, and Charon turned the boat so wearily back to the world. Then the little shadow spoke, that had been a man. "I am the last," he said. No one had ever made Charon smile before. No one before had ever made him weep. Miranda, there's an obvious and perhaps intended interpretation that this is the end of humanity and the last shadow is the last human to live. But another interpretation is equally possible, that humanity has achieved immortality, and the last shadow is the last human to die. I prefer the latter. I prefer the latter too. Noema project. Alright, same problem. First, really unsuccessful one. Simultaneous trials affecting each other by means of an unknown mechanism. What's going on here? So it looks like things are getting a bit screwy with the trials. It used to be success across the board, and now there's weird failings. Anything over here? Seriously, I don't want to miss something important like I did last time. Didn't get any meetings with Miranda either. That's a bit odd. It's like... Was it the... Oh, this isn't a phoenix, this is a different statue. This one has... some circular thing. Did I see anything like that? Say this has been a fairly successful area. This isn't even like, that much of a challenge. There's a path you have to follow, and that's not optional. All that just to get here. Make these too difficult, otherwise the whole going back and forth stuff is going to be infuriating. Well, there's that. There's that. Just really quickly looking around, seeing if there's any switches or whatever. There doesn't seem to be. Alright. This is different than the other towers. Oh, it's you again.
When the craftsman Daedalus was imprisoned in the very labyrinth he had created, his only solace was his son, Icarus. To escape their plight, he fashioned wings of feathers and wax. He warned his son to fly neither too high nor too low. But his son, enraptured by the freedom of flight, flew too close to the sun. Thus the wax in his wings melted, and he fell to his death. What was the sun's error?
limitations. If he wanted to soar so high, he should have built better wings.
What matters the substance of his wings, if the sky was not meant for him? After the death of his son, Daedalus withdrew in sorrow to a foreign land. King Minos came looking for the craftsman to exact his revenge. The answer to a riddle revealed where Daedalus dwelled. But for Minos, that answer was his ruin. Consider King Minos burned in his bath as you seek your own answer.
He could have probably figured out like a more hardy way of crafting wings.
The megastructure. It's opening.
3 receivers, 3 towers, 3 beams, as we suspected. I think this is an invitation.
Doesn't look that inviting to me.
If you consider the size of the entire structure, then that opening must be big enough to drive a building through.
Or the VTOL.
You want us to go in there, into the creepy triangular maw of death?
Maw of death? I think it looks charming. To quote 1K, come on now, live a little.
Byron's right. We're here to explore, and this is a mystery worth investigating. This technology could change everything.
Oh, all right. I'm not winning this, am I?
Nope. Let's meet up at the VTOL, everybody. We're going in.
Right, but like, there's gonna be more than just going straight into the megastructure, because there's still 9 worlds left to do puzzles in. But as far as that's concerned, that's going to wait a bit for me at least, because like the other episodes, I will do some free running and show off this world. So, guess who was right before to assume that maybe it would be important if it's green? It's amazing how important this one fucking level that absolutely filtered me is. Ew. And you. There we go. I heard the shimmer. Or the, sounds. And I got the star. Great.
The hunter does not hunt because he is hungry. He hunts because he revels in death.
So I guess, the sphinxes are gonna be like riddles or puzzles, like flip the switch. They're gonna be flip the switch on something, be a location or at one of the puzzles, and the Pandora ones are you have to kind of think about lasers and where they're going. Anyways, let's do free running some more. Alright, I think that was a nice bit of free running. Kind of got distracted there because I figured out what the hell was so important about that, but hey, I managed to get all the sparks. Gold puzzles obviously not accessible to me right now. So, kind of wondering if I should try going back here and seeing if there's anything that I might have missed. And you can see, like, you know, still 3 worlds here, here, here. But, I mean, we might as well get the story to continue.
By the way, I finished my analysis of the particle clouds. At first I thought they might be some kind of nanotechnology, but I was wrong. It's a lot worse than that. What we're looking at is a completely unknown type and state of matter. Completely inexplicable within our understanding of physics. Created and manipulated by someone.
Fascinating.
Well, it's night now. Quite a few stars out. And the moon. And like per usual, let's go see the Golden Gate. Yeah, there's all the lasers. The green one looks to be the thickest, and the blue one looks to be the thinnest. Nothing going on there yet. And also cash in our stars. Maybe, you know, after I do all the worlds and stuff, if there's any stars or whatnot I haven't gotten, I'll try going through and getting them before the game ends. It must be so surreal, like, you know, the world is mostly lifeless. It's New Jerusalem and whatever the fuck is
Come
going
on,
on
people,
here.
get on board. We haven't got all day.
That has any sapient activity. Meanwhile, everything else is just quiet, desolate nature.
Yakut, take it.
Have any of you ever read an ancient writer called Ian Banks? I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced, so different, that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is. This whole place is one giant outside context problem. And we're headed right into it.
Into the machine.
I think I
into the
can set down over
megastructure.
there. Should I?
Please do. I can't wait to get a closer look.
Very friendly looking interior. It's like the outside of the Death Star.
Setting down.
Okay, everyone. We need to explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to who...
actually kind of realized I haven't looked at anything here quite a while. Astronomical Temple. I wasn't entirely sure what to call this. It looks like a temple of astronomy themed. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I do that. It doesn't seem to be active in any way, but I can't help but to think the design implies some kind of significance, like it's hiding a secret, but again, maybe my imagination is getting the better of me. Well, it actually is positioned to face the moon, so you may not be too far off. Bridge ring. Not sure what to call this. Bridge ring? Bridge machine? Anyway, it's a device that takes particle clouds released by the puzzles and turns them into bridges made out of tetrominoes. Correctly assembling a bridge out of 8 particle clouds is required to reach a tower, so clearly another layer of puzzles. The simulation had tetronomo puzzles too, although in a different form. Could their presence here be symbolic? I don't have a clue. Puzzles. It seems that each of the structures on the island, with the exception of the megastructure itself, is surrounded by a cluster of puzzles resembling those found in the simulation and in our booting sequence. Complete a puzzle releases a particle cloud, which then autonomously flies into the device that assembles tetronomos. The puzzle even comes with titles, hijacking the vestigial code designed to display puzzle names in the simulation. It's unclear whether this represents a potential security issue, but the matter should be given consideration. I do like how they're trying to engage in, like, ludo-narrative synergy and, like, make sense of the fact that that it's the same gameplay, but now it's outside of the simulation, and names appear on screen when realistically we shouldn't know what the name of the puzzle is. I appreciate when game devs try to go that little extra mile. Tower. There's an ambition expressed by this building, a sense of purpose that I find really admirable. It's big, but it's also intricate, detailed. That feels like a statement. We should explore this building as soon as possible. Well, most of it is probably useless space. There's just that one room with a huge laser gun. Almost wasteful, if you ask me. Melville, interesting. Uploaded for personal reference. I guess that's a picture that was referenced earlier, like 2 or 3 videos ago. Lost puzzles. Some of the puzzles seem to be disconnected from the rest. They're still functional and can be used to power the bridge device, which means it should be possible to reach the tower without solving every, quote, main puzzle, but they don't seem properly integrated. Could they be remnants from a previous iteration of the design? I think they're used in conjunction with this. Stars. I've discovered what seems like another mystery to solve, clearly inspired by the simulation, which are gained by solving puzzles related to these monuments to Pandora, Prometheus, and the Sphinx. Perhaps these stars are somehow related to what Yakut dubbed the Astronomical Temple. And they are. And I wrote this one. Gold puzzles. Looks like there's an additional set of puzzles protected by golden gates that can't be accessed yet. Assuming there's some kind of logical pattern to all this, those gates will probably open up once the correct conditions are met. Does that mean solving all the other puzzles, or maybe something else as well? Hard to know at this point, so perhaps something we should prioritize much later. Prometheus Spark. The mythological Prometheus was a trickster, and seems his holographic equivalent has similar tendencies. These sparks seem designed to allow us to skip puzzles, a function which appears to run counter to whatever intent is behind this place. Still, the terminals for using them are right there in the puzzle, so Prometheus must have some legitimate authority in all of this. The sparks can be recovered by properly solving the puzzles. Now I find out. North Survey. I don't think we've seen this yet. I sent a drone to have a look at another puzzle cluster, but it seems they remain inactive until someone gets there, or perhaps until the transport system goes online. Looks a bit grim, you know? Just concrete and snow. Rather uninviting. Preliminary analysis. Imagine an ant trying to make sense of a nuclear power plant, an armadillo trying to explain disco music. You get my drift. These particle clouds contradict every known law of physics. It really is shocking here, isn't it, that we're seeing a new and powerful technology. It's what this implies about our grasp of physics. A lot of what we thought we knew must be wrong, or incomplete, or on some fundamental level. A humbling realization. I don't like it. There's audio files. There's a Sphinx engravings. The ancient artifacts, which I guess there's quite a few. And the notes, journals. So I wonder, if I missed some in an earlier world, or if this is the first world that has them. And I did this one in that forest area, and there's one spark I haven't, or one star I haven't gotten there. Let's see, the social media. The garden, new poem. I walk the garden without fear as stars swirl across the sky, and I stand amongst the tall lilies who lift their faces to the passing eons. Here I will do no harm, and no harm will come to me, for at last my long journey is over, and I am at home. Beautiful, makes me feel calm and happy. This is my new favorite of yours. I think although maybe step by step towards the nightingales might still win out. Let's say it's a tie. The words are definitely beautiful, but to me it seems like a poem about death. Places of Longing, Paris. Paris was an ancient city, sometimes called City of Light, one of the great capitals of the world, home to tradition and innovation alike, but it was the birthplace of one of the greatest revolutions in history, the moment that gave birth to modernity in all its glories and horrors alike. I kind of argue against that. I think the Industrial Revolution, which was more of an English thing, was the real birth of modernity. Although there definitely are a lot of ideas from Paris that were important to eventually getting to modernity. The spirit of freedom that was born here, although it was suppressed by enemies and traitors, never entirely faded, and it lived on in the minds of artists for many generations. Maybe something of that spirit still remains with us. It's Paris, but it's all like dilapidated and grown over, so I wonder if these robots have somehow managed to travel as far as to Paris. We don't really know where Talos Principle takes place, so it kind of seems like it's in the US. But, I mean, maybe they really did explore far and wide when scavenging and someone painted this picture. Cat sitting advice. So I'm cat sitting Ukut's cat, Bruce, and he keeps peeing on my charging pod. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Clean it very thoroughly so not a single trace of smell remains. I know it's hard without the ability to smell, but we do have some cleaning agents that should do the trick. Contact me on private if you need a list. Oh, and make sure Bruce isn't distressed by something. Cats don't like being moved from their territory. Maybe it would be easier if you just moved him back to Yakut's place and fed him there. No, Bruce is just a bastard. He loves peeing on anything electrical, chewing on cables, and generally just breaking stuff. This is normal, and I warned you, Pellegrio. I should have given him to Neith. She's used to him. But he's so fuzzy, and I love him. Ah, cats. Mystery of Miranda. For anyone who's missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of another person. Someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does this mean? Maybe there's another city out there. Who says there was only one simulation? Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There is only one founder. I hate to agree with Thekla, but all the historical evidence we have points to that conclusion. There were some other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. Why do we think Miranda is from Earth? There's no evidence to support this idea. I mean, considering you might have gone as far over as Paris, I think you've kind of explored so much of the world that there's really no good reason to think that there was more than one founder. I mean, from a purely logical standpoint, the evidence is still, like, correct, or that's where the evidence points to. The Progenitor Portrait Series. Hi everyone, this is the latest in my portrait series. I have always had a deep respect for the progenitor, Alexandra Drennan. She didn't just create the Foundation and save humanity, she also tried to instill us with a sense of beauty and wonder. It was good to be human, Alexandra Drennan. As usual, please keep in mind that we should focus our engagement with the work. Don't ask yourself whether it's good or bad, but how it makes you feel. Beautiful work. Gives me a bittersweet, wistful feeling. She must have been a great person. To me, it really captures her bravery in the face of what the cosmos had thrown at her. It's well done, but I'm not sure it's appropriate for us to depict the progenitor this way. Again, like, I don't think we saw her in the first Talos principle, so now we know she had red hair. City News. The long-awaited birth of our 1000th and final citizen was interrupted today by an unknown projection in the sky. The projection, which identified itself as Prometheus, goaded New Jerusalem inhabitants into indecipherable incantations. The source of this projection was tracked to a remote, mysterious island. A team led by Byron is now en route to find out more. Other members include Alcatraz, Melville, Yakut, and 1K. Mayor Hermanibus has once again called for a calm and promises that New Jerusalem will be safe as long as its citizens do not forget the ideals of the goal as set by the founder. Touch grass, read 10 social media entries. Doge 666. 1K, we met in New Jerusalem, if you remember. I spoke to my friends. This whole mysterious island expedition thing has the city on edge. They have some questions for you before I make any introductions. Do you consent to my gathering and sharing of your personal data? End of thread. Hey, I'm curious. Has anyone actually met 1K? By the founder's pistons, I hope he's interested in mechanical engineering or something. We desperately need more people to keep this city functional, so we don't have to rely on Melville to repair the stuff that Pellegrio quote-unquote fixes. Hey, remember when you fixed the door to the mayor's office? How long was Herman stuck in there? You trap one mayor in his office for a week and you're marked for life. I hope he's an artist. What we really need is new stories, new ideas to lift our spirits. You know, if we just kept growing, we wouldn't have to worry about this, and we wouldn't have to imprison poor 1K in a cage of expectations. 1K will be whatever the progenitor intended him to be, and whatever the founder foresaw when she established the goal. He's really interested in history, which is an excellent start. Some of you could learn a thing or two from his attitude. I mean, 342 is right, though. What happens if Melville kicks a bucket somehow? You're fucked. I know y'all have been looking forward to playing the winners of the biannual Gehenna Memorial Interactive... Oh, we've read this one. And this one. Alright, so we've read them all. Says there's 4... Alright, well, there's that. Not very well lit in here. Looks like it's falling apart a bit, crumbling from the inside out. So it must be pretty darn ancient. More statues of robots. Maybe things were supposed to happen earlier, but due to the founder taking too much time, everything was delayed. Sphere and a cube.
This thing seems to be broken.
Looks like there's a way to go over here, so might as well.
Isn't this an incredible space? Look at it all, it's beautiful.
I agree.
That's good. That's excellent. I find that a lot of people these days can't see the beauty in things created by human hand. They can look at an ant colony or a coral reef and be impressed, but if it was made by humans, they just don't see it. It's good to be humble as an individual, but we have to be careful not to lose track of our accomplishments as a species. If we're impressed by the complex patterns produced by animals, then this should be breathtaking.
Well, to be honest, I think part of it is just getting over the fear and concern of the unknown before being able to appreciate the beauty. A Sphinx. And something press here. Chinchevsky. From Arcady in Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. What I propose then is that we are not born as entirely free agents, responsible only for ourselves. The very core of what we are, our sentience, separates us from and elevates us above the animal kingdom. As I have argued, this is not a matter of arrogance, but of responsibility. However, this blessing also demands something else from us, something more personal than responsibility, and that's loyalty. Our ancestors, less atomized than we are, experienced a crude version of this loyalty, swearing allegiance to tribes, races, nations, and other such semi-fictional concepts. This fragmented understanding was easily exploited and led to many conflicts. We can condemn them for that, or we can choose to believe that these were necessary historical steps toward our growth. But above all, we must stop indulging in such childlike behavior. Our species can no longer afford to believe in Mother Russia or Uncle Sam. Neither, however, can we afford to indulge in adolescent rebels' misanthropy, rejecting the many gifts we have been lucky enough to receive, not from above, not from the history of our species. To put it simply, each of us owes a burden of loyalty to humanity itself, to the human project across time and space. This is not a minor matter or some abstract issue for philosophers. It is a profound and significant part of every human life. It is a universal source of meaning and insight that can bind us together and set us on a path for a brighter future. And it is also a division, a line that must be held against those who preach the gospel of self-annihilation. We ignore it at our peril. Cherkovensky, like Drennan, stood by the belief to the bitter end. Without him, the archive would not exist, and we owe humanity our loyalty, so we owe a more personal debt to those individuals who gave everything for our story to continue. Don't forget Trevor. It kind of reminds me of, there's a few songs, Talos Principle in general reminds me of. One is Dan Bull's Civilization epic rap, which covers like human history, the highs and lows, our fervor into discovery and our descent into tribalism and warfare. But it ends on an optimistic note, pleading for mankind to get over itself and start exploring the universe. The other is Nightwish's The Greatest Show on Earth, which is based on Richard Dawkins' book of the same name, which he actually has a speaking appearance in the song, that starts out with sort of a prologue covering the entirety of evolution and that history. But the second part of the song is about mankind, and it ends on kind of the destruction of mankind, but oddly enough, isn't that kind of what the Talos Principle was? And yet, even in the face of the extinction of the human species, it's still brimming with optimism. It's still embodying that, that human spirit, the indomitable human spirit. And I think that's what I love about the game. A total worst-case scenario, a virus is about to wipe out all of mankind, and yet enough of us can get together and do the right thing to ensure there's still a history, there's still future pages about the history of the Earth and mankind yet to be written. I don't know, maybe I'm just desperate for a bit of optimism. Maybe it kind of speaks to a core of my being beyond my cynical exterior. Alright, where's that door?
Hold on a second, 1K. I think I can find an override for that door.
Maybe after that, you can help me with this elevator?
One problem at a time. What's going on with these file structures? Okay, door should be opening. Now, about the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am, but it's working.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
When even Byron is telling you to, like, not go too far to charge forth. I was gonna say it means something, but what is this light? Alright, let's see what's through here first. I mean, the first game is one of my favorites of all time because of that attitude, and I mean, this one's following through, so I'm liking the new puzzles and new mechanics and stuff. I actually do like the characters. I was worried that having these guys around would kind of ruin the sort of liminality of the areas that I enjoyed from the first game, just the quiet isolation. But while I'm doing free running, I really think about them. There's a bridge. Liable to get lost here. How do you get over here?
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
Sure, what's up?
When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem. The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control?
I don't think what went wrong with our ancestors was too much power.
Then what do you think it was?
I mean, the virus was released due to human-caused climate change. And that's not so much about power as it is about greed. That's ultimately the stem of things. I'd say most of them wanted to do things differently, but their political systems wouldn't let them.
And what will prevent us from developing the same political problems?
We can learn from the past.
Funny, that's exactly what the mayor said. But you're right. If it's possible to learn from the mistakes of our ancestors, that means history doesn't have to repeat itself. Thanks for talking to me, 1K.
No problem.
I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Seriously, where the hell do you come from? There's one of these. We saw those in that lab. Oh. I'm faster than you. I'm the puzzle man. Oh, seriously, this is one fucking way. Where the hell did you come from?
Looks like another set of puzzles. Same pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
just give us 3 of those.
I keep getting locked out of parts of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something. Or not.
It's not that one. Let's do this one. Guess we'll try to go up as far as we can. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this to be like a huge puzzle.
This is madness. Even the walls are bursting with power.
I wonder how far down this goes.
Difficult to solve. I guess I'm just like, you know, making paths for myself to get around easier. So here's the first one we did. Do here. ever so slightly high enough. That's good. Do you want to have to move around that blue one? Micro adjustments and whatnot. Oh, well, this is a big blue laser. So, how do we activate it?
Good job, 1K.
It's always about lasers in these games, huh? I think I'm supposed to be able to go there. See if there's anything else around to look at. These giant, like, Tesla towers. Obelisk. And that puzzle, but... critically examine what's going on here. Blue's turning into red there, and shooting something at that. I should then use this to convert that red into blue. I don't know why I didn't solve that one. I must have set it up earlier, but there's red laser.
Well done.
There's just one more left. Oh, is that easy? Between this and that one puzzle, it's like not my puzzle day.
The gate's open. 1K if you want to. Go ahead. I'll finish up scanning this.
Oh. Well, I do want to continue. So two sides meet up. Big place. Kind of reminds me of Wallace's area in Blade Runner 2049. And there's one of these. Question from Miranda. I was doing some reading while the last trial was running and came across something I don't understand. There are a lot of references to ancient humans feeling that science is boring. To me, everything we're studying is mind-bendingly incredible, whether it's quark-gluon confinement or neutrino-antineutrino oscillations, or even something incredibly basic like the properties of light. I understand why our ancestors cared about art, why a beautifully crafted story or poem was moving to them, but how could they not see that everything that surrounds us is just as incredible? Studying science is like studying the most incredible machine ever created, a machine designed to build worlds and tell stories. How could they not see that? I'm sure there's a good explanation, but I don't get it. The education system. Schools where people tend to have to learn science in order to pass classes fucking suck, and that saps out any potential interest in the subject for many people. Oh, another overloaded file. Can I see Miranda again?
Mother? What are you thinking about, Mother?
The Talos principle. You see, it has two applications. One is to the self. It means facing the truth even if it frightens us. Understanding that living beings are machines and we can't afford to lie to ourselves. But that's just the beginning. The second application is to the world. This one seems easier at first. It's less difficult to understand that the universe is a machine, governed by laws.
So we and the universe are the same?
No, and that's the crucial part.
We have different
We are
bodies.
conscious. Consciousness is rare, unlikely, but it's also the foundation of everything else. Without us, there can be no meaning. Without someone to perceive it, the beauty of the universe is pointless. But that shouldn't make us arrogant. No, in fact, it means we carry a tremendous responsibility. We are the light of the cosmos, and if we go out, there will be nothing but a cold, dark machine.
I'm pretty sure this music is from the first game. The Human Form Divine.
Athena!
The founder was here?
She could still be here. What if this is why she left, to build all this? We have to look for her.
I'm reading some pretty big energy spikes. I think we better scramble.
But she could be right here, right behind the next door. I could turn around a corner and walk right into her.
If she's really here, she'll still be here when we come back. But right now, safety needs to come first. Let's go, Byron.
You're... Oh. Damn you, but you're right. Heading back.
I wonder if, like, you know, she changed her mind when she left. I mean, the timescales for these games is pretty out there. In a audio recording that may or may not have survived some silliness.
Was that really the founder?
I think so.
It was her. For years, I've wondered what happened to her, why she left, where she went, why she didn't tell me.
If the answers are here, I promise you we'll find them. We just have to be careful. Follow protocol.
Miranda was talking about spending 5 years studying a flower. So, things tend to take a while, and, well, maybe 5 years isn't enough to build all of this with who knows how many robots are available. But centuries could have passed between the two games. And given how fast we learn and discover...
I still can't believe the founder built this place.
Alright, I'll just
Has she been here the whole time?
We don't know that she actually built it. All we know for sure is that she was here at some point.
Of course she built this. Who else would have the kind of vision necessary to accomplish something like this? The question is why? And why like this? Why recreate all these aspects of the simulation? What is she trying to tell us?
It does seem like it might be a test. I can't imagine any other explanation. But why is it so broken? Or does it just appear to be broken so that we have to learn how to fix it? I hate this.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Everyone in New Jerusalem is gonna go absolutely nuts.
But considering how fast we discover things here and now, with the limitations of human beings, the limitations of our memories, the fact we need to eat and sleep and shit, and we still discovered so many incredible things so quickly, it wouldn't surprise me at all if it really did just take like a century or two for these characters to discover everything. I notice the door here is the same one found in the lab, which kind of implies that there is a connection between the two. If we're speculating it might be different, but that's the lab door, or the door that... Does this work? Oh. Nope. Alright, video game. I'll do it your way. Rust. Lord of the Files, read 30 texts on terminals. How dull is it to pause, to make an end, to rust unburst, not to shine in use? And though to breathe were life piled on life, where all too little and of one to me little remains, but every hour saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and violet word, for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning and desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. That was that terminal that one guy was reading. Didn't have access to. Then I did. Looks like there's light coming from the outside too. So maybe it is natural light. There was night when we went in.
All right, take us back to base camp, Yakut.
Yes, sir. I'm getting some new readings. Looks like 2 of the northern sites are lighting up.
I think that may have been me. I suspect the puzzles are somehow tied to the transport system. Like we're supposed to solve them in a particular order.
Still night.
All right, everyone. Our main objective is getting back into the Megastructure. 1K, I want you on puzzles. You seem to have a knack for them. But the rest of us can't neglect our secondary objectives of studying this island and understanding this technology.